These trees came from nursery-grown seed. They had a little help getting started. As young seedlings, they were taken out of their nursery, transported to field storage, and carefully planted. They don't all make it. Maybe somebody forgot to look after them, and they were dried out or got too hot and were planted in poor condition. At the nursery, seedlings in storage are kept dormant by a low temperature and controlled moisture. Grown from selected seed, they'll develop best when planted in the same climate and elevation as their parent trees. The way these young trees are handled very much affects their chances of surviving. The chief hazards are physical damage to tops or root systems, drying out of the roots, and mold forming from excess heat and moisture. So the stalk must be moved gently and kept cool away from sunlight. To avoid the heat of the sun, stalk is generally moved early in the morning or late in the day. Transport vehicles must be clean and dry, with enough ventilation to provide a proper supply of air, as well as helping to control temperature. Before the driver collects his load, the shipper must check that the seed lots are going to the correct planting areas. These 2-year-old Douglas firs are marked for the caribou. The driver himself double-checks the condition of the trees by gently selecting a bundle from the middle of the carton. Good trees have a healthy smell, with no mold odors, firm needles, and good green color. After checking, the young trees are carefully rewrapped and resealed. As loading begins, the shipper checks off seed lot numbers. This load will include a week's supply of seedlings for different planting sites. Cartons are placed so that they won't shift during travel. To prevent crushing, they are cross-piled. Loads more than 3 high require the use of spacer bars. If a carton is accidentally damaged, it should be removed and the condition of the seedlings checked. If everything is okay, repack in a fresh carton correctly marked. When loading is completed, the shipper releases the consignment in good condition. A copy of the waybill travels with the shipment. On a long trip, the driver will need a rest stop. It's important to keep the stalk cool and moist, so he looks for a shady place to park the truck. When it's very hot or very cold, the vents should be closed to conserve moisture and keep the temperature more even. If the trip lasts more than half a day, stop at least once to check inside the tree compartment. Time for a look at the load, a quick check of the tires, and it's back on the road again. After a safe journey, the young trees arrive at regional planting headquarters, where they must be quickly unloaded into refrigerated storage units. These reefers keep the young plants asleep under artificial winter conditions just above freezing. The outer root cover is peeled and the root collar tested to check for healthy white color. The storeman enters the shipment on his in-out records and checks his new stock against the waybill. At another reefer in a different district, seed lot numbers are checked by the planting foreman before he loads his pickup with a one-day supply of young trees. He's already inspected the stock before carefully lining up the cartons on the back of the truck and entering seed lot details and amounts on the in-out records. Stock inspection is especially important when the trees have been stored for many days. The cartons are covered with a tarp to protect them from dust and weather, and the load is tied down. At all times, stock cartons must be kept cool and protected from bumping or damage. Planting stock may be carried in many different vehicles. One company operates a special purpose trailer which holds stock cartons in a ventilated compartment on the bottom and planting tools in the top. The crew have their own separate transport. Field storage may be found in an old shed, a tent, even under a bridge. Here, the stock is cool and dry beneath a tarpaulin. On the planting site, the foreman explains the use of carrier bags for bare root stock. Bags must be cleaned after use, ready for the next day. In some districts, when planting smaller stalks, a spacer is put in. Once stock cartons are opened, it's vital to keep the tree roots from drying out, so 2 or 3 inches of peat moss slurry is placed in the bottom of the carrier bag. Cartons are always kept in the shade. The liner bag is opened, a bundle is taken out, and the condition of the seedlings is checked. Weather extremes or travel delays sometimes make it necessary to plant stock which is in less than perfect condition. These trees with black mold are okay to plant as long as the stems are still firm and the roots and buds are healthy. This one's gone too far. When in doubt, check with the foreman. Small amounts of white mold won't kill the seedlings. Red needles on pine look bad to the new man, but they're natural and the trees should be planted. This string burn is not good. Neither is the bark damage, but the stalk is usable. Careless handling has resulted in broken tips and branches, but the trees are still plantable. Look at that water. This stuff should be planted or healed in at once. The left bundle looks too dry, but if there's moisture on the inside of the liner bag, the stalk should recover if planted immediately. Not this bundle, though. It's had it. Never pull or break off extra long roots. The foreman should trim these with a machete or a sharp knife. Take care not to overload the carrier bag. You might crush the stalk, injure buds, or cause root damage when you take out a tree. A tally is kept of the number of trees issued. Bare rootstock involves mattock planting. Picking out a likely spot for the young tree, the foreman scrapes off the loose duff to uncover the soil. A firm mattock stroke prepares the hole, which is enlarged by lifting the handle and pulling back to make room for the roots. Now a single tree is gently taken out of the stalk bag. Gather the root system, just enough to place in the new hole. Ease out the mattock, still supporting the tree while firming up the soil around the young plant. During lunch break, carrier bag tops must be closed, and bags should be placed in the shade so that the trees will maintain their moisture balance. Planting bags may be shielded under a log, or even in the shade of the crew. Well, that's lunch. As the crew works in a line up the slope, the foreman supports his planting team, checking to see that they select good sites and insert trees to the correct root collar depth, and making sure that roots are kept moist in the carrier bags. Root moisture is critical. As little as 12 seconds in the air lowers the chance of survival. This is where all the care in keeping stock in good condition will pay off. The final stage in a long journey from the nursery into the forest. Kept cool and moist, protected from dry air and sunlight, guarded against mold, from nursery to reefers to field storage, the bare rootstock is transferred by planters into newly dug home sites. Little trees are kept alive by little details. Make room, world. Here we come.